So maybe, Art, we can cover a couple of questions until
Yes.
that process finalizes.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Because there's been like 2 or 3 questions coming up. Just so we keep also with the time, and hopefully then by the end we can see all of the clusters deployed.
Yeah.
So there was a question here on whether we're intending to add proxy SQL deployment support or even Hadoop deployment management in the future. And those are great questions that we like to hear, because of course we always look at what else or how else can we extend ClusterControl, the platform, what do our users need. So we don't currently support proxy SQL or Hadoop, but it's true that we have been looking at those, and they're part of our discussions for the future roadmap of ClusterControl. So thanks for bringing this up. It's always good to have that feedback. Another question here is whether we deploy the database node or whether the user needs to install the OS first. It's for the user to deploy or to install the OS first. We provide the binaries for MySQL, Percona, MariaDB, and so on. But as a user, if you install the OS first, then you can start then with ClusterControl, and that will provide you with the binaries for the database system that of your choice, and that we of course then also support. So that would be the answer to that question, and we can just pick another one as well. Whether we currently offer deployment of MySQL cluster NDB through the user interface of ClusterControl, and that's currently not an option. What we do have is a configurator for MySQL cluster, which you can use. You can just go to severalnines.com. Under resources, select configurators, and you can go there. It's a bit of like a wizard that you can use to then deploy MySQL cluster. And of course, we've had a few requests for this for the user interface of ClusterControl, and that's something also that we're looking at for our roadmap to add automated deployment of MySQL cluster NDB through the user interface. But currently, the best way to do it is probably through our configurator. So those are a few questions we had so far, Art. I don't know if we can go back to the demo.
Let's check. There we are. Well, it looks like Mongo is still busy installing itself. That's a bit unfortunate. I hope to have it actually online by now. Let me check on the host itself. That's VM10. So I'm currently logging into the virtual machine itself, and then I can see what's happening.
It looks like you might have to share your screen again, Art.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Well, I was just checking out what's going on. MongoDB is currently busy, so I'm guessing that it's still busy creating all the files for that it's going to use to fill up all that precious disk space. So that might take a while. So I'm not sure how we are time-wise. Wait, something just happened, and it's finished. So just in time.
Perfect.
We have our MongoDB cluster. So here it is. Quick rundown. All the necessary tabs are here with obviously Mongo-related functionality. Yeah, I don't think we have time to add the replicated setup, but yeah, if you like to add a node to the replica set, this is the place to add it. And I think that's about all we can show now during the demo, as we're kind of running out of time.
Good. And maybe you can just check, Art, that we're sharing the screen as well.
Sharing. Which screen are you referring to?
Because at the moment, I don't think we can see the interface just right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you see? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't press the correct button.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay, so
great. Maybe we can just show again the list of clusters and just a little bit, and then we can wrap up.
Here we have the overview of clusters, and the Mongo cluster is here. We have here the same tabs as you're used to within all the other clusters. So MySQL Postgres. Here is the dropdown to add a new node to this replica set. So that's the most important one. And that's about what we can show right now. So let's go back to the slides. I think there's one more slide. Can you see the slide now?
Yeah, perfect. Thanks very much, Art.
Right.
So it was great to see how we're able to deploy like 4 different types of databases, database clusters, literally within 40 minutes or so. That was pretty impressive. Thanks very much. And so thanks for the presentation, Art. And here's just a list of some resources that are related to what we just saw today. Of course, you can go and look at our pages on ClusterControl on our website at severalnines.com. The best way to get started with ClusterControl is to go to this link here, severalnines.com/getting-started, which gives you a 3-4 step process on how to download ClusterControl. And then, of course, do follow our blog as we blog weekly on different open source database topics. And we also just started 2 new types of blogs, one tips and tricks blog on ClusterControl. And we've also started, and Art is actually the author of those, a more in-depth ClusterControl blog on how to become a ClusterControl DBA. So that's a nice blog to follow. And we just published the first one a couple of days ago. So thanks again, Art, for the presentation and the demo today.
Great.
Thanks everyone for your participation, and we'll be in touch. Yeah. And we'll be in touch again with invitations for the next webinar, which will take place next month. And of course, we will make the replay and the slides of today's session available to you within the next couple of days. Thank you from my side. Maybe from you as well, Art?
Yes, thank you very much all for attending. And I hope that this at least gives you like a nice kickstart to get started with ClusterControl.
Perfect. Thanks very much, and have a good rest of the week, everyone. Thank you, and bye-bye.
Bye.